Welcome to Bay Rats and Buoys Season 2 with your host, Captain Gage.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Bay Rats and Buoys. I'm your host, Captain Gage. This is episode 59, Season 2 from the studio, and you got it. The champ is here. Ba-dum, ba-dum. You know the song. You know I'm going to play it, too, in the background. So we got Andrew in the house. Say what's up to the people, Andrew.
What's up, everybody? How's everything going?
Yeah, man. It is the day before Thanksgiving. We're actually going to get this podcast up in time. And you can see we had a matching blue theme today. We didn't even work that out. I had no idea he was wearing blue. I didn't know I was wearing blue. And I put on blue lights. So it's like a blue turkey theme. You'd think I'd go with like some fall colors. This episode is brought to you by nauticalschool.com. Guys, head over there and check it out. Those guys are absolutely fantastic at what they do. I did an upgrade and renewal through the Nautical School this year, and it was absolutely incredible. It was the best process, because let me tell you, that process, anything dealing with the Coast Guard is absolutely tedious. You know, so you're on pins and needles. Is it going to go? Am I going to get it? Does it work? And there's a lot to do. So they make the process streamlined. They built an amazing portal, and you're going to head over there and check it out. I know you are. I know you're going to take those online tests, Andrew, and pass this captain's exam. So here we are. We're in the studio. It's a little too cold to be out there. You were out on the water today, you sick. He is the saltiest of the saltiest kids in our, and I call you a kid because you're a lot younger than me, but you're no kid. But you are the saltiest of the young group of kids that are in our area for sure. You and Justin.
Yeah.
Now, who is there anybody else you want to throw in there into the mix that you think? I mean, Luke is pretty salty.
Luke is pretty salty. One of my friends, Sean, is also pretty salty. I actually split the boat with him, so we went together.
Okay. Cool. Yeah,
So
your
we go
dad
out
showed
a
me the picture of that boat. He
Yeah.
was excited. All that work you guys did.
Yeah, sanding was not fun.
No, that sanding is never fun.
We put 60 hours of sanding into that boat.
Wow.
I calculated, so.
What grit did you start at? Were you like a 220 working your way down?
We started at, I think the lowest we went was 60 all the way up to 400.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And paint. Yeah, it was a lot of sanding, a lot of work.
That's hard work.
Yeah, but it all paid off in the end.
And speaking of the end, now the boat's out of the water. It is the end. The season has come.
Yeah.
So tell us about today. You were out today. Tell these people you were out fishing today.
Yeah, I was out today. We were doing a little bit of black fishing. It's kind of like a spur of the moment trip. We had to go over to Connecticut to pick up stolen golf clubs.
That was an incredible story. That the air tag.
Yeah. So my uncle, he got his golf clubs stolen out of his car. And he had already had his clubs stolen in the past. So he had an air tag in his bag. And we're on Long Island, obviously. And he tracked the clubs the next morning to Bridgeport, Connecticut. So as soon as I saw
Bridgeport, have you been there before by boat? Have you gone to like the Boca Oyster Bar or the Pro Bass Shop?
I have. Yeah, I've been to Bass Pro Shops before, but I've never been off the boat.
Okay. So Bridgeport is a pretty shady neck in the woods.
Yeah.
So the fact that the air tag was there, I am totally not surprised.
Yeah. So we see it there, and I think I'm like, all right, maybe I'll just take the ferry over. I'll go pick them up for him. But I mean, obviously they were in somebody's house. So eventually we tracked them to Milford, and the guy brought them to a store to try to sell them. I think it was a Golf Galaxy. And Golf Galaxy said, no, we're not going to buy them. Go try the pawn store that's right next to it. So we called the Golf Galaxy when we saw that they were there to try to tell them not to buy the clubs because they were stolen. But they were like, we had already sent them to the pawn shop. So we called the pawn shop, and the guy's like, oh, the person's right in front of me. So he takes the clubs, tells the guy that they're stolen, and the guy runs away. We go there. We take the boat over. It was perfect because we got to go fishing and we got the clubs back. Saved two.
Which is, it's a win-win. You know, that's a win-win situation. Anytime you have to use your boat to go across to Connecticut.
Yeah. And it was nice. It was a nice day. It was a little foggy. It was warm out. 60 degrees outside.
60 degrees
end of November. It was awesome.
So, how was the tog fishing?
We didn't fish for very long. We got I think 5 fish, one 13 inches. That was the biggest one. The rest were all small. The water was 50 degrees. It was cold. The fish that were coming out were gray, which usually means that they're starting to slow down. Because when the water's warm, they'll be black. And when they turn gray, that usually means that they're starting to not really move as much. And you could just tell by the way they were biting and the way they were fighting when you were reeling them up that they were kind of less dead.
They were lethargic.
Yeah, they were definitely lethargic. The bites were very minor. So
What were you using as bait?
green crabs.
That's legal.
Yeah.
That's good. At least you guys are using legal bait.
Yeah.
And so you got the golf clubs. You caught some fish. You texted me and you told me where you were. And I was like, there's no way you're on your boat. I know you're taking your boat out. And
Yeah.
I didn't know the whole story that you were going across.
Yeah.
And that's kind of cool. So you got the clubs back. You caught some fish. Season's coming to an end here. You took your boat. Your boat's out of the water now?
Yeah, my boat's out of the water.
Fully winterized?
The motor's winterized. I'm doing the transom on it.
It
completely rotted out. So doing that on the off season. Gonna hopefully have it done at the beginning of the season so we can get out there for opening day of bass season.
A little more sanding in your future.
Oh yeah, a lot more sanding, a lot more filler work. A lot of stuff has to be done. But
yeah, it's messy.
I like it though, so it's all right.
Well, you have a great boat. You know that. What year is that?
1975.
1975. That's just incredible that it's still floating.
It's almost 3 times my age.
Yeah. So, could you believe that you got a 75 boat and you got a 2-stroke on the back?
Yeah.
What's better than a 2-stroke? I call mine a 2-smoke.
Yeah, me too. 2-smoke.
It's a 2-smoke.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm fully winterized. I was just saying I actually just cleaned the entire transom. So I get in there with Dawn, a bucket of warm water, a big scrub brush. I got these long gloves that I put on because, it's going to be all,
Yeah, all like the black stuff.
All that black stuff that accumulates. But here's what I did, and I'll tell you, this was actually a pretty good trick. I didn't know, but I was in the supermarket with my daughter, and I said, I got to remind me to get Dawn. And I saw a little spray bottle of Dawn. I picked it up. I'm like, okay, cool. And then when we passed the aisle that it had all the Dawn in it, there was an industrial strength, a different one that I said, oh, look at that. It says it's industrial strength, better than the dishwasher, whatever.
So try it out.
So I said, let's try that out. So I get on the boat. And again, at the time, I had only minimally tied down the tarp in the back so I can keep getting on because I had a few more things to do.
Yeah.
I texted Corey and I said, look, I put my Grundens on. I got up there with the magic eraser and my bucket of water, and I scrubbed every little, I took a picture I sent to him. He goes, I would eat off the floor. So it's immaculate. The boat's perfectly clean. And I sprayed the Dawn all over the back, all in the back there. I cleaned the oil canister, which I'm going to pull out.
Yeah.
I want to shorten up when they installed I told you I put in, every year I do a lot of new things. 2 years ago, I put in I was having that oil issue, and I put in a new oil tank. We ran new oil lines, all the new lines. The
wiring harness.
The wiring harness. We ran the float. We changed the oil container on the engine. Everything. Everything and anything. The whole system. And it was Master Mechanic Keith that actually found the grounding issue and fixed the problem for me. It took him an hour, where 2 other mechanics spent, a week and couldn't figure it out. And we were just replacing parts that didn't need to be replaced. But again, it's an 03
preventative
boat.
Maintenance.
It's an 03 boat. And anytime somebody tells me, listen, when I was the one mechanic that came down, it was really into electronics. Like he was testing the ohms and every wire. And I can't believe that he didn't find the ground issue. But he told me that it might be the computer, that a wire wasn't converting from neutral to power, I found the computer online, $750 on eBay, and I bought it. Can you believe that when we were online talking to the mechanic, he actually called the place? Japan had a brand new computer for my 2003 OX66 in the box for $2,000. You could have put a brand new computer on the engine. If somebody out there needed it, Japan had one computer for that boat, brand new, still in stock. And so anytime he told me he can get new parts for it, I said, let's go.
Yeah.
Anything, fuel pump, anything. I ordered it. It's all sitting in a case right outside the studio right now because everything's off the boat. I decided to take it all off. Me and Corey every week are going to go through different crates and get cases and get everything all soup to nuts worked up for the springtime.
Yeah.
Because Manny, we're coming. Manny from the West, we are coming. Manny knows West. He's still catching striped bass. He's going to keep going into December. And, that's... Days like today, you got to say, we always say, wow, 60 degrees, you wish you still had your boat in the water.
Yeah, 100%.
100%, because we'd shoot out there and we know the birds are working. Last year, this time, me and Tommy are fishing in Lloyd Harbor, and Justin is behind us.
Yep.
Justin's behind us. He's in my video. I can show it here. And me and Tommy are casting into the bass, and Justin's 100 feet away from us, and he's casting into the birds, working, and we're all hooking up to nice-sized bass. 6 hours before I'm on the boat with Tommy and Justin's there, I'm salvaging a boat on a mooring that had flipped over. We flip the boat back over. We get it out. We run it down to the ramp. I'm done for the day. One of our divers, Jacob, that was with us, I have some funny pictures here. I'll put the picture up. He's actually sitting on top of somebody's mooring in his dive suit, and he actually came back to our marina and went spearfishing.
Oh, wow.
In the area and told me that everything he saw was over slots.
Wow.
He literally just wanted to go home with the striped bass for dinner to give it to somebody. He had a relative, an aunt coming over, and he wanted to give them a striped bass. So he had a spear gun in his car. He brought it down to the dock. He was already diving, so he already had his wetsuit on.
So he was like,
he jumped in the water at our marina. He went down, and every bass that he saw was an overslot. So he didn't shoot anything. So
you would never expect that to even be a thing in Huntington.
Yes, but I did expose to some degree with the underwater camera that I put down. That even you asked me, where did I put that camera down? So I put the camera down at different docks and in different areas. Sometimes I'll just put a buoy on it, put it down because it's down there in a milk crate. And I'll show you this milk crate I designed. It's very cool. It's very simple to do. And it's actually a lot of fun to come home and review the footage because you could just scroll through the play bar. And as you scroll through, if it got nothing all day, within a minute, you scroll through the whole thing and you see you got nothing. But when you scroll through and all of a sudden you see fish go through, you stop it and you watch it and you're like, wow, look at that. This bass, this hog, this porgy, and this spearing all hanging out in this one area. And that underwater footage shows that. So it's kind of cool. You can almost do that anywhere you go. And me and Corey do that. We fished a very popular place in our area, Marshall's Field.
Yeah.
And it's very rocky. You see it on Navionics, which you and I both use.
Yeah.
And it was tough to get the milk crate down to I have two lines on it so that I can kind of balance it. And I want to be able to turn it.
Yeah.
And know which way it's facing.
Yep.
So in the harbor especially, I want to put it
a perfect angle.
Exactly. So I'm putting it down there. In the video I got, we actually put it on a rock. And we got it to the point where we were able to drop the jig down. You see the jig land in front of the GoPro, and the first fish to land on top of the jig to beat the black sea bass and the small tog and all the small fish that usually go hit first.
Yep.
What the hell is the name of the ugly fish?
Oyster toadfish?
Yeah, the oyster toadfish. He was the first one to get on it. And I set the hook. Like I just felt him and boom, I did it. And you just see this oyster toadfish land on the jig and then go like this. Whoom, like get whisked away because he's tiny.
And as soon as you hook that, exactly what you have on there.
100%.
It feels like a tire.
Yes. And so we bring it up, ugly little thing, but it was so cool to actually have the footage down there. But that area is very tough to put a camera down. It was moving around. That crate was moving. Those rocks.
Sitting on the bottom,
Sitting on the rocks. It's not like in the harbor, it sits in the mud. I could drop bait in front of it and actually attract the fish to come to the area, which is very cool. Now, speaking of the harbor, not a lot of people did it this year, but I know you went squid fishing in the harbor. So, okay. Tell them about your experience because that was definitely a fun one.
So I tried to do it. I did it 2 times. The first time, it was when my boat was still in the water. So I went down there. I hooked up the light to my boat. And
was it the white light up top, or was it the light you were dropping in the water?
I had the green light that I was dropping in the water.
Yeah, okay. Yep.
So I have I'm not a squid fisherman. I don't really know what I'm doing when it comes to squid. So I was using a little split shot weight and then the jig, and I only had 1 jig. Now I know you're supposed to use 2 jigs on the high-low rig with a weight on the bottom.
Yep.
So I'm using 1 jig. I'm using a little split shot weight, and the action on the jig is awful. Like it's awful. I'm watching.
All you had to do was ask Robin High Hook. He would have told you which one, how to tie it up.
And you know what it was though? It was just such a spur of the moment thing. Like it was 11 o'clock at night. I'm like, I see the tide coming up. I'm like, you know what? I'm just gonna go down here and try this.
So how many people were down at that dock with lights on?
Oh, more than I can even count. At least 15. And so I see all the squid swimming around. I'm moving my jig, and they're just laughing at it. It got to the point where I was just like, I'm done.
So did you see anybody else catching them?
Yeah, everybody else around me was catching them.
They were filling up. So what did you at the end? What was the technique? What do you think worked?
I think it was just having the right action on your jigs. I mean, like I said, I had the split shot at the above the thing, so when I would move it, the jig wouldn't really move.
That's right. The weight was moving before the
Yes.
jig. It was almost like a delayed reaction.
Yeah, and you can't really move it that much because then you come out of the strike zone of them. So I really think you just have to have the weight on the bottom and then the 2 jigs above it, and then it'll work.
Right.
Yeah.
So it was the setup.
Yeah.
All right. We blame the setup at least this time.
And then the second time I went down, it was the same thing. I was using a little bit of a different setup. Like I put a clip on the top so that the weight wouldn't slide up and down, but the action was still terrible. And I actually hooked up on one and it fell off, and then I didn't hook up on anything else for the remainder of the probably hour I was down there. So I was just like, yeah, I'm done.
Yeah, so this week we had a couple tows. We got down there. The water temperature was 43 degrees, you know. So to hear that it was warmer, where you were, because today you saw the temperature, it was warmer, obviously.
Yeah, the sound. So when we went out of Lipa, the water temperature in that little cove was like 45.
Okay.
And then it was 51 out there. And then the harbor in Connecticut was like, I think 45 too.
Yeah,
46.
So it's hovering around there. It's, the winter's coming. We can't avoid it.
It's here.
Once I see, so days like today, I say, I wish I had my boat in the water. But I really don't, because I'm so happy this year that I have no pressure on me to pull. Every year, I want to be the last one out. I want to be on the last body of fish. I just want to do it till the end. The North Shore, it's like a light switch. The seals show up. So that was my point before, was me and Tommy are fishing. Justin's over there fishing, and Jacob is on the mooring. And I said, I'm going to show the picture of it. 6 hours, we took the boat out. We went out fishing. Here's me. Here's Tommy. Justin's over there. I say to Tommy, I'm like, take a look over there. What do you see? He goes, I see a log floating in the water. I go, yeah, keep an eye on that log.
Yeah.
Watch. And he goes, oh, shit. He goes, dude, that log just disappeared. I go, bro, that was not a log.
Yep.
That was a seal.
So
and like a 300 pounds.
Yeah.
It was a big one.
Yeah.
And then I called Jacob, and I'm like, yo, Jacob, I'm sending you this video right now. I'm like, have you, he goes, yeah, bro. He goes, you don't want to be down there in the water swimming with a seal that's going to come and approach you, because you can't trust them. Yeah. There's videos of them attacking people that are spear fishing and fishermen in the water, people in the water, which is crazy.
Yeah. So I was out, the last time I was out before today, it was 2 weeks ago, and I was fishing a local spot on the Connecticut side, and I'm looking and I thought it was a trap. And I'm looking around.
It was a head. It's incredible.
And then I look up, and 10 feet away from us is a whole seal. It's like dancing on the surface. I have a video of it, and I'm like, wow. And then it just rolls down, gone.
Yep.
Doesn't come back up.
Nope.
And then I see it again, a half a mile away from where I was. And then earlier in the year, I think I sent you the video.
Yep. You did.
I was fishing. I was further east.
I couldn't believe they were there that early.
Yeah. What was that? Early October?
Yeah. So they were, but they've been here. I've heard they've been here the whole season.
Yeah.
Maybe that's why there's no bunker.
Yeah. Maybe, or
we'll get into that.
Yeah. But I see a seal on the surface, and I'm looking at it. I'm like, there's all these birds flying around it. I'm like, so is there fish over here? What's going on? And I'm like, there's no way there's fish feeding with a seal right here. And I'm come to find out there's just a huge bluefish just hanging out of the thing's mouth. You can see like the back half of the bluefish just sticking out of his mouth.
Yep.
And I was just like, wow.
Yeah, that's something cool to see. When I was fishing out east a little bit, and me and you, we ran to the same spot a lot this year.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a very fishy area.
Yep.
And every time we were there, the birds are working, the blues are there.
The little blues, yeah.
Yeah, and it's always the cocktail blues in that area. Always is. And people are going to know when I say this where it is, because the dolphin are so predominant in that area.
Yeah.
I see them more there than I see them anywhere else in the Sound.
100%.
And it's unbelievable. And I actually got to see them boil on the bluefish.
Wow.
And that was, to me, that was wild, because these things are they're 7 feet long.
Yeah, they're huge.
This isn't like a bluefish or a striped bass boiling on fish.
No.
This was like a mammal
going
after fish. So, and it was short. It was like boom, 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 and it was over. We were like, you reached for your camera and it was done already. And I was like, oh my God, I can't believe we just witnessed that.
It's stuff like that you just can't get everything on video.
No, you can't. And we have cameras hooked up, that are rolling on the side sometimes, but even by the time you get to it and
turn it on, and
it would just turn it. It's already on, and you can't get to it in time to catch it. You turn and miss.
Yeah.
Can't film everything.
Yeah. Sometimes people just got to believe what you say.
That's it. Which is, hard to do in fishing because every fish gets bigger as you hold your arms out. How big was it today?
So yeah, in the same area, same general area, I think I was black fishing. I was either black fishing or I was jigging for bluefish or bass.
Mm-hmm.
And I look behind the boat and there's a sea turtle just sitting right on the surface.
Yeah.
Just swimming around. I'm like, look at that. I couldn't get a picture of that either. It swam away so fast. I was like, wow.
One of the loyal listeners actually saw one. He said it was huge.
Yeah, this one was big.
And yeah. Okay, so that's cool. I think it was what he described was west of us. So I think the one that he saw was west of us. If I'm not mistaken, I just thought of like Glen Cove out there that he saw a big sea turtle. And you know how long those things live. I was in Aruba and I swam next to a turtle and I had an underwater video camera. So I was just holding the camera out knowing that I'm getting that whole shot of him because I'm swimming. And I'm swimming pretty fast. These things move.
Yeah.
Just flapping those little arms that they have.
Yeah.
They can boogie. They're not as slow in the water.
Nope.
And it was the coolest thing to see, but knowing how old they can get, those things really are like from the dinosaur age, which is what he was describing it, Jurassic looking.
Yeah.
Which is kind of cool. It's always, listen, we love our fishery. We know the fish that are here. We all fish the same species. But it's just so cool being out there to see all the stuff that we witness.
Yeah.
Just being on the boat.
Yeah.
To me, that's the biggest treat is, being on the boat. The more I'm out there. So there's times where I'm out there just on the commercial towboat. And I'll pull up to you. You'll be zipping by me.
Yeah.
Me and you have raced out there a few times. I got some great video footage. I've shown the listeners. I put up the video of you zipping by. You'll actually hear me laughing. I'm laughing in the video. I'm shooting the video, leaving Huntington Harbor. And here you come cutting through the buoys.
Yeah.
And you're getting out of the channel early. And you hear me in my video laughing because I'm like, I can't believe here he is again. I mean, it's just, you're out. Every day I'm out there, you're out there. You're a lunatic, and I love that about you because now the reason I didn't make a big deal and I just said the champ is here, guys, he won the tournament. He's got a target on his back right now. This is Andrew, Eric, and Mike were the three guys on the boat that caught the 46-inch. It was 46?
Yeah, 46 inches.
46-inch striped bass on June 22nd. For Bay Rats and Buoys' first annual Striped Bass Invitational. These guys took home the grand prize, the trophy, the whole kit and caboodle, and they got the bragging rights until next June. And I know you're excited about the next tournament. I know that.
Yep. Got my own boat this year.
So, right. So, you now, Eric, you'd be like, Eric, when I catch the 46-inch fish and win,
it's not yours.
I'm going to be showing you a fan of the money, right? That was pretty cool, though. But, let's talk about that because Chef Rob's going to be on the podcast next week, guys. So this is going to be up in time for Thanksgiving. I'll probably get this up sometime tonight. It's Wednesday. We're here the day before Thanksgiving. Next week, I have Chef Rob and a couple of captains from South Carolina are going to be on. Like I said, we're expanding stuff here in the studio. So we're going to be doing a lot of streaming, and I'm going to get guys on from all over the United States, which is going to be pretty cool. Very excited about that. So Chef Rob is going to be on. The reason I'm mentioning Chef Rob is because he was also in the tournament.
Yep.
That morning, and he described, now I would not have known this. Obviously, I heard from other people that were in the tournament, but this is my close friend, Chef Rob. So Chef Rob is now describing to me what happened and the boat that he was on, because obviously he came up from the Carolinas. He was captaining somebody else's boat.
Yeah.
Okay? And the person's boat that he was captaining, I got to say this. He was the first person, Daniel was the first person to sign up for the tournament. And I thought that was the coolest thing because now, all of a sudden I had put it out there. The link was on my website. This is how new it was. The link was on the website to actually sign up and pay without filling out a form. You couldn't even enter in your information in your boat or any of that. That wasn't even on the site yet. I was testing the payment thing, put it up there, and he was the first person to sign up for it. Chef Rob captained his boat. And he took his son and a whole bunch of other people out. But we're talking about that because that morning, I blow the air horn. You guys all take off. What looks like on the drone footage is everybody's running for the triangle. Everybody's heading right towards the Coast Guard station out of Huntington Bay. And we had a squall come through.
Yep.
So I saw the clouds. I saw the drizzle.
Yeah.
Started to drizzle on us a little bit as it was taking off. But I'm watching the radar saying, okay, it looks like in an hour it's going to clear up.
Yeah, it's going to get nice.
It's going to get nice. It was June 22nd. So I said to Corey, instead of driving out and sitting out here in the next hour in the rain,
Yeah.
I got to get the scoreboard going. I got to get the leaderboard going. I got to get everybody in a text format where I'm already communicating. I already had that set up on the phone. I just want to go get situated.
All the prep work done.
Let's get the prep work to this thing.
Yeah.
Let's shoot into the office. We dock the boat in the marina. We'll sit in the office for an hour, get it all done. And here comes Tom Trueheart's message. Ding. First fish of the tournament caught, so he's got the first bass. I actually thought somebody was going to shoot right into Lloyd Harbor and just hook up with a fish in like 5-10. By the time people are getting through the bay, you could have already been on a fish.
Yeah.
So I thought that was going to be, here's what my fear was. First fish caught, most tags, all these things all could have happened pretty quickly.
Yeah.
If somebody got on a decent school of fish in an area where they just cast it out.
Absolutely.
They got rid of the 5 tags, caught 5 fish, and they had the first fish, second fish, and got rid of the tags. They could have won a couple of prizes. I was afraid that one person could have won all
kind of just won.
I was so happy that it didn't, but I was happy, that Tom sent in he actually got the first 2 fish. He actually caught the first and the second fish. Because people were sending in pictures. And what was funny is people sent in pictures of the fish backwards on the tape. It was like not with the head to the nose to the tip. And it was just like, I was like, we had to educate people again and say, hey, maybe you didn't remember at the captain's meeting we put the trout. So Eric is in the back of the captain's meeting. I'll never forget this. Raises his hand. He's got a question. I ask if anybody's got a question. He raises his hand. Point to him. He's like, is it too late to sign up for the tournament? I said, absolutely not. And then I said to the crowd, I have it on GoPro because Corey was recording the meeting. And I have it on GoPro. And I say, we got a ringer here. This is what I said in the meeting. And guess who won the tournament? The last guy to sign up. So Daniel was the first. Eric was the last to sign up. Eric won it. You were on Eric's boat. You actually caught the 46-inch fish. We're going to get into how you did that. But Chef Rob gets out there and tells me, and you can corroborate this now, that squall came through. He goes, dude, it was freezing out there. His son was 12 or 13 years old, shivering on the boat, driving the boat. He goes, I had to take my sweatshirt off and give it to him. So describe, because me and Corey went into the office. I missed that first hour on the water. I didn't know anything about this.
So when we first got out to the lighthouse, it was probably, what would you say, 60 degrees?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was around 60 degrees. And so we're going out, and it's drizzling. Thankfully, Eric's boat has the enclosure, so we stayed dry. But so we get out, and it starts really raining, and the wind starts picking up like crazy.
Out of nowhere.
Yeah, completely out of nowhere.
Like it wasn't forecasted to do that. Nobody had that in the forecast.
No, nothing. And it was blowing probably 25 miles an hour out of the west. And the spray, the rain, it was just the perfect combination for just being absolutely freezing. And you got
getting your ass kicked in nautical conditions.
We were fishing probably 2 to 3 foot seas most of the time, trying to anchor up and fish. Wasn't working. You're just swinging around because the wind's blowing so fast. We're trolling, taking water over the bow. It's just not fun. And then it got nice out towards the end. Yeah, the sun came out. It got really hot out, actually.
Yeah, so me and Corey left the office. We got out. We shot out into the sounds. And there were still 2-footers out there.
Yeah.
There were 2-footers all day. And
it never really got calm after that.
It never laid down like a lake. And there were guys that actually left the tournament. So that squall came through. So that's what happened. It turned out there was a squall that came through. There was a weather system.
Yeah.
That came through in the morning. And people that had signed up had
to bail.
Smaller boats and feared for their life and said, it's not worth catching a bass today. And they took off, and that was it. Yeah. Where other guys came in and went into the back of Lloyd. Some guys went into the back of Duck Harbor.
Yeah.
If you know your areas, you know where you can go to avoid
the waves.
Rough seas. There's always areas in our...
And still catch fish.
Yeah. Because they're always here. Mm-hmm. And, me and you were just talking about where they are, and there's holdover fish all season long. Get out there in April in our area, and you can go catch fish in the back of almost any of our harbors. If you know where to go look, they're there.
Yeah.
Even in the spring when the water's 46 degrees, they're there.
Yeah.
And it's pretty cool to know that intel and go. But yeah, so Andrew won the tournament. So now it got nicer out. It got warmer. Tell them a little bit about, because I already told people you put out the buffet. You guys put everything out. How many rods did you guys have going over the boat? Seriously.
I think we had 8 rods out with different things on them. We were just trying
the buffet.
Yeah, literally the buffet. We were trying everything that we possibly could to catch these fish.
You had a few sharks. You were in an area where you were catching a lot of sharks.
There were sharks, and this fish just happened to be rolling by. It was almost slack tide. We were getting ready to go in, actually. And I was in first place, like as far as we knew, for a while, because pretty early on I caught a 38
38 and a 39,
fish,
I think. Yep.
So I was in the lead, but I was like, this isn't going to stay. I was like, people are going to catch fish that are bigger than this for sure. But the fishing was it was hit or miss, like it was coming in waves. You would get a takedown, and then there was a period of time where we went an hour and a half with no fish.
Yeah.
Nothing.
Yeah.
And then a little school of bluefish rolled in.
You jigged those up.
Yeah.
You had fun. Your dad caught a monster, actually.
He
He would have won the Wick tournament with that fish.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
And
what was it? How many inches?
I think it was 38 inches.
38. The thing had shoulders.
Yeah, it was.
That's a gator.
Yeah. When he was reeling it up, it kept running down, because you know how it is when you're trying to net
blues,
those things.
They see the boat, they're gone.
Gone.
Nothing like bass.
10
Bass
times.
give up. They're like, okay, I'm done.
Yeah. So he catches that, and I have my rod's just sitting in the rod holder. I'm just hanging out, sitting in the chair. I'm just having a good time. I'm on my phone, and I look up and I see the rod getting hit, but it didn't look like anything crazy. So I got up, I hooked the fish, and I'm like, this feels pretty big. I didn't know what it was. I knew it was a bass, but I didn't know like 100% because it was kind of fighting like dead weight, and then it would pull drag. I was like, is it like a big shark or something? I'm not sure.
Right. Because you get 4-footers over there. Those sharks, they get to 4 feet, and
they fight.
They pull the drag.
Yeah.
And they're crazy with that alligator death roll they do.
Yeah. These things are nasty. But so I reel the thing in, and I'm like, oh, wow. Just when I saw it, I was like, holy crap. So then we netted it, and then we got it in.
So wait, yeah. Come on, you got to give them the description of his dad netting the fish.
Oh yeah,
he's hooking the cleat, because now you guys have a trophy fish on. This is when shit goes wrong.
Yeah. So I have the video on my phone. It's you see the fish come up on the side of the boat. He's holding the net at the back, and the fish comes up sideways because the current's still going to the back. So it starts going towards the back of the boat. We were on the right side of the boat, and it starts drifting towards the back. So he's standing in the back. He's trying to net it. The fish runs a little bit, not much, but it runs a little bit. And he goes into the water to net it, and he hooks the net on the cleat.
On the cleat, yep, on the stern cleat.
And then he hooks the net, and then he's trying to get it off. He's pulling it hard, and he bumps my rod. I'm like, you got to stop. I'm like, you got to stop.
We're gonna lose this.
We're gonna lose the fish. Just calm down, and then we got him after that.
Yeah,
got him in the boat. Measured it, took a picture, and threw him back.
And that was the win. Yeah. Yep. How many fish did you guys tag that day?
We used all of our tags.
See?
And then
That's awesome.
then we caught a bunch more fish.
So next year, the only thing that we will do different for the tagging is everybody's going to get tags, but at the end, because we're going to have an event after this tournament next year, it's going to be a lot bigger than it was. This was the first year. I just wanted to get going through, see what it's going to be like. We work out all the kinks. It actually was smooth enough that it was, decent. Next year it's going to be, I think it's going to be much bigger and much better. And it should grow. But we're going to get everybody to hand the tags back, hand the green cards back in.
Yep.
They wanted me to actually be the one, because all those tags were given to me. I gave them to you, and they want me to take the tags back and then submit them all in.
Yep.
Because right now she's got numbers that she knows from here to here. Those are all the fish that we tagged. And so basically, so we're going to try to do it that way, because we're going to try to stay organized and do it the right way. I can't wait to find out when we get any of these numbers back of fish that were caught.
Yeah, I was about to say that.
We tagged 65 fish. So far, out of all the fish that we've tagged, me and Corey did get a call back on one fish that me and him tagged. It stayed in the same area. Somebody in the same area caught it. They caught it off of Ash Roken.
Oh, really?
And so it was something that we tagged here in the triangle, and they caught it in the same area. So over a few months that it was here, it didn't really go anywhere. It didn't migrate or leave. But yeah, next year we'll change that up a little bit. And it was epic. I can't wait for next year. We're going to do the fishing club too. So we got the boat show coming up. I mean, Jesus, it's a month. We're a month away from Christmas. And then we get to Christmas, and it's a month away until the boat show.
And then after that, 2 months, you're unwrapping the boat and you're getting it ready for the spring.
And it's usually the third week in March when I really get the itch, and I'm just like, you know what, I can't wait anymore. It's usually right after the Ward Melville show, which, by the way, that's where I met your dad last year.
Yeah.
He came up, he introduced, because he said he wanted me to come speak at the club and introduce. So I knew he was serious fisherman because he was really into it. And me and Corey were happy. We met Manny and we met Frank, and Frank came. Frank's got a new robalo. He's a beast. If you really should send Frank the picture of your transom, because he'll have great advice. I mean, Frank really, he just redid this robalo. I mean, it looks like it came out of the showroom. He installed his own Minn Coda. So that's next year.
Motor.
So next year I'm putting a trolling motor on my boat.
I want to do that too.
I don't have to cut my railing, which I'm very excited about. So here's a funny story. I told you how I got the boat. We were in the studio here and we're talking, and I told Angela the whole story how I got the phone call to get the boat, and I was going to travel the whole East Coast, that I was going on a trip, and I had the opportunity to shop the whole East Coast to pick up a boat, and got the call, picked up the boat, didn't know anything about the type of boat that I bought or the engine until I had it. But I liked the condition that it was in. It was in great condition. And I get the boat into the marina, and Captain Mike says, he goes, if you don't like the railing, he goes, we could always cut it off. And I look at him and I go, dude, we're not cutting the fucking railing off my boat, first of all. Second of all, it's one of the greatest aspects of keeping people on the boat. I want to run fishing charters on this boat.
You need a railing.
And I want the railing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You know how many times you have to lean on a railing on a boat?
Absolutely.
Holy cow. I can't begin to tell you how.
Fishing, rough water, holding on to it.
Let me tell you a little story about it. A little rough water and the DEC. I did tell you they called me last week, had a great conversation. And it was after last week's episode, or the week before's episode, right after that. They pulled up to me. We got boarded a couple times this year. I think we got boarded twice. One time we were out at 15 and we're the only boat there. It started to rain. Everybody left. There wasn't a boat out there. I'm like, we ain't going anywhere. Put on your gruntins.
Yeah.
We're sticking this one out.
Yeah.
We were into some sick fish. It was unbelievable. It was unbelievable fishing. So here we are. We're out there. We're catching fish. We get boarded. Talk to them for a few minutes. Let them know about tagging. We had just had the tournament. Now the guy wants to see the tags. He wants to see what I'm talking about. We get him, and we did Gray's fish tag and how we tag them and blah, blah, blah. We show them, and they're like, wow, it's really cool. Like, wait, you guys work for the DC and you didn't know about Gray's fish tag and how this is done. So, listen, to each his own. Some people don't know. Some people do know. I don't know what people know. And I thought that was kind of weird, but I guess it's not. Now I'm more open-minded to saying, hey, like me, you don't know everything.
Yeah.
So next time we get bored, I'm on a charter. And oddly enough, we're crushing it in a crowd. And we're at the OB can. And every pass I make going over a spot me and you just pointed out, and we call it by the body part, and we call it the elbow. I'm going over the elbow, and every pass, we're hooking up.
Yep.
And I never go that way. I'll never go, you don't go east-west.
No.
But the way the traffic was and where people were, here I am going east-west. Both rods went off. Got guys on the back of the boat reeling in 2 fish. Who sees this? The DEC boat. He's on another boat, just leaving. They come over. There's 3 of them on the boat. They pull up next to the boat. Now, this is where I'm going to recommend to the DEC and to the state. Go get yourselves a Zodiac. Go get an inflatable ribbed boat when you're going to pull up to people's boat and board them.
Yeah, so you don't take a chunk out of somebody's gel coat. So
forget about the gel coat. Let's talk about removing maybe a liver or breaking ribs. This is now. They're going to come up. They're going to come up their port to our starboard, and I have customers on the boat that were hooked up to the fish. They saw us get the fish, land them, check the size, boom, dump them back in. We let them go.
Yeah,
they were overs. So they saw that we were releasing. Obviously, we're not going to keep Anyway, in front of them or not in front of them, we had the option. If it was a slot, we would have kept it. We had every right to put it in the live well. They come over to board the boat, and one of my guests is leaning against the railing. Just like this, leaning against the railing. Okay, the top of the railing, the rest of the railing that goes down to the gunnel is open. Well, here comes the bow of the DEC boat and his black rub rail. And he is about to hit this guy in the back to the point where I have to tell the customer to get off the railing. He's coming in at a totally wrong angle. I pull up, on the commercial towboat to people, and I'm not coming in to crash into them and potentially hit them with You're
already turned by that.
Port to starboard.
Yeah.
It's a very easy twin engine move, very easy. And I was shocked, and yet I wasn't, because every time the DEC has pulled up to board, they've had a problem getting close to the boat. And, maybe it's something in training. Maybe it's new people. Maybe it's, guys that are younger, that are new, that haven't done it enough, that they're training.
I have seen much more DEC these past 2 years than I've seen in the past.
And I'm going to tell you why. At least I'm going to tell you the reason I think so. They're keeping a boat in the Coast Guard basin here at Eaton's Neck.
Oh, okay.
So there's a boat in the Coast Guard basin where now they could drive down to the basin, get on the boat, and go out, where they don't have to trailer it like they come out of Kings Park, where me and you go, to the DEC, to the physical building. They take the boats there with the ramps and come down to Smithtown, Lilco, and launch.
You would see them a lot. I don't know if you launched at a Lilco a lot, but they would sit there a lot, and they would survey people. They would ask you how many times a year you're going out.
Yeah.
How many fish you catch on average a year. I haven't seen that in a couple of years.
Yeah, so I'll ask when we see them at the show. You'll see them at the boat show, because you're going to be there, and they have a table. And it's always good. I have a great dialogue with them. And like I said, me and you actually know some of the same DEC officers that we deal with in our area, and they're great. They really are fantastic. I try not to tell people who they are, because I don't want people to be able to call them up and say, "Oh yeah, I heard you're, on Bay Rats and Buoys," and now they drop their name and be like they have some sort of connection. And she recently, the actual DEC told me that they caught people in our area recently poaching oversized slots,
and
right in our harbor.
I think we need to ask them where the bunker are.
That's
the golden question.
Yeah, the big question is where the bunker, and that's that there's a group on Facebook called the Manhattan Defenders.
Manhattan Defenders.
Yeah,
yep.
Yeah. So I love all the posts, and I love to get involved and figure out what's going on, because nobody has said it more than me publicly, because I do a podcast every week. I did it in my fishing reports for the Fisherman Magazine, which is the best publication. I love that publication. And I love doing the fishing reports for that publication, which I stopped doing this time of the year. I don't do it. But I've said all year, where the hell is the bunker? There's years we walk across them. There's bunker kills. You see them die in Centerport. We've seen so much. Last year, I'll put a video up here on the podcast. I'll actually put up in between me and Andrew here in the middle and show you football fields just coming out of the lighthouse and making a right between West Beach and East Beach. Isn't that crazy? That we have beaches in our area, and the one that's on the west side is called East Beach, and the one that's on the east side is called West Beach. It just doesn't make any sense. Yeah. And they're trying to confuse you.
Yeah.
Because, I ask people when they break down where they are. And, I've had guys tell me that their boat was just on fire. I'm coming out. Frank, me and you have funny stories. I know your brother listens to the podcast. I probably should have mentioned you so many more times on the boat, because it's great seeing you out there. I did see him out there recently. I've towed his boat a bunch of times, and I know the person he bought the boat from. I saw the boat get worked on, and he's put an engine. He's done so much work to this boat. But one year, I got a call, and he says that the boat's on fire, and he put it out, obviously. And I ask people where they are, and they'll tell you, yeah, I'm in the harbor.
Yeah. What harbor?
Okay. I'm in Northport Harbor. So we all know the entrances to Northport Harbor and where it is.
But there's so many different...
They're in between the Coast Guard station and Comset. They're in Huntington Bay. But some people got into that area, and they're out of the sound, and they think they're in the harbor. And so when I say East Beach, West Beach, I mean, this is, you could tell them every can, this is Bay Rats and Buoys, from the 32 to the 15 to east of us, and go wherever you want to give them a numbered can. Everybody fishes these cans. That's where I came up with buoys. because we're all on the water. You are the definition of a Bay Rat. If you look up Bay Rat in the dictionary, there's a picture of you. There's a picture of you and Justin. Now, did Justin, because he had a boat before you? I mean, his boat, he's out there all the time. His dad's boat.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, your dad has a boat.
My dad has a boat too.
You guys have been on the water forever.
Yeah.
So, I mean, he's the definition of a Bay Rat. So, Sean, I probably know. I'm sure I've seen him he's been on Justin's boat passing me when you guys were all hooting and hollering.
Yeah.
You know, Luca's yelling at me from God knows how many miles away. I'm getting yelled at by Luca.
And also, tying back to what you were saying before about people not knowing where they are, that's why you never listen to people when they tell you where there's fish.
Oh, yeah. Forget about it. Corey did that to me one year. He calls me up 2 years ago. He says, hey, it's blowing up out here in the sound. I said, I'm not far from the marina. I got my daughter in the car. I'll jump on the boat. Like, how crazy it is. Like, dude, the birds, it's going insane. I'm like, all right, I'll jump on the boat. I'll come out.
Yeah.
Fly out, going through Huntington Bay. I had on the back of the boat, you know, the plates, the screw plates that you screw down into the floor?
Yeah.
Okay. So I had bought specific ones that now screw down into the floor, but I put a table mount on one of them. So I can screw it down, put the table mount on, put this table back there with the fisher chairs that people could just sit back there and you could put drinks and some food on when we're not fishing, not on a fishing trip, just to hang out at Sand City or whatever, just to chill and use the swim platform. And the table was still on. I was so mad at Corey for this. True story. I'm flying through the bay with my daughter, and it's pretty flat calm. And these swells out of nowhere to the point where I got to back off the throttle. But I'm seeing the first one, and I'm like, uh-oh, it's too late. Even if I back off, you know what I mean?
You're still going to pound.
I'm still going to hit this first one. So I said, all right, let's go. We're going. You know, I told her, hang on for a sec because this is going to get fun.
Yeah.
And we're in the air. You hear the engines you hear the cavitation. And I know it's going to be a landing and just poof. And it ain't landing like the Zodiac where it's like poof and just goes. This thing is going to be like boom. And in the air, we come down, we land, and I hear something go da-doom, da-doom. And I'm like, what the hell was that? I have no idea. I look around, I'm like, oh, nothing. It's cool. I kid you not. Like a minute later, my daughter's like, Daddy, where's the table? And I'm like, oh, shit, look at that mark on the cowling.
I was going to say, that thing must have slammed, if it was on the bracket, right into the motor.
So the bracket going up, the part that it screws to the top of the pole, was not as tight as it could have been. So when this boat jumped this swell, we landed in the air. I think as we hit the water, the tabletop rustled off.
Yep.
Came back, hit the cowling, left a nice little white mark because it hit it. Couldn't get it out even with the wheel. I left it there. It's like, it reminds me of the table.
It reminds you of the table.
I have a new table that I bought, and it screws on nice, and it does it, but I know to tighten it down. I mean, crank it down now. I mean, I can't believe I did that. It's so stupid, but I blame Corey because I get out there, there's no birds. Oh, yeah, it stopped 10 minutes ago. I'm like, wait, call me back and tell me it's over. You called me on the phone to tell me it was great. I said, I'm coming out here. So he didn't realize I was jumping on the boat really coming out to get in on this bird action that didn't exist. So I tell Rob at High Hook, who we all love, you shop in Huntington. So we go to High Hook. It's one of our favorite places. And I'm in there the other day, and I told him the story. I stretched the hub. I stretched the cable, spun the hub, and I ran aground. And he goes, where'd you run aground? And I told him, and he goes, dude, that doesn't count. He goes, that doesn't count over there. And I'm like, that's not, he goes, you told me you ran aground. I thought maybe you really ran aground somewhere that,
Yeah, did some damage.
And I said, no, we were just messing around over here. So he goes, yeah, dude. So that's why I'm happy to tell everybody. So, and what it is. And here's the funny story to it all. I was telling Andrew where I ran aground. And go ahead.
I ran aground in the same exact spot.
So he did the same exact thing. And, you know what throws it off over there? And it's funny, you know this. You know the person's mooring that's there. There's moorings there.
Yeah.
And you're in 3 feet of water.
Uh-huh.
So you think it's going to stay consistent to 3 feet of water.
Yeah.
But when we got in, we were really just seeing the birds. They were working up against the grass line. Guys, this is in Lloyd Harbor. If you went out of Huntington Harbor and you made a left at the lighthouse, if you made the loser left, which I'm not the one that created that name. Okay, I didn't nickname it the loser left, but it has a nickname. You get around the lighthouse, you make the loser left, and you go tie up on the mooring, and they hang out there all weekend.
Yeah.
Right? And a lot of parties going, a lot of fun goes on in there. So I don't know if you could really call it the loser left. But I made the loser left, and the mooring field is empty. There's nobody, there's no boats on it, just the moorings are left, and you see the ton of birds working right on the grass line, and you see some fish, so we're okay, cool, let's cruise over there. We've always had fun catching fish in Lloyd Harbor, anywhere in the harbor there. And we get back there, and we're working in 3 feet of water, and I venture off into the corner where the jetty comes back out towards the lighthouse, and I'm heading over there. And I've described it to the people and told them, we got the bow into 6 inches of water. And the tide, it was 45 minutes of incoming already, so the tide was coming back in. We were at dead, almost dead low tide. A half hour, 45 minutes, what did that really change? Nothing really came back in yet. No nice amount of water. So we hit that 6-inch spot that you hit.
Yeah.
And you happen to hit it on the first day of launching your boat. So, yeah, that's a little nerve-wracking.
Yeah. So I was going out to tie up with some friends because, like you said, we have friends with the mooring that's right there. And the wind was blowing from, I think it was the southwest. So the boats were facing the opposite way that I was coming in. So I was going to make a wide U-turn because it was pretty windy and I didn't want to hit anybody's boat.
Right.
I wasn't used to this boat yet. I had just gotten it.
And you were going to U-turn and pull up port to starboard and pull up to somebody's boat and just tie up.
Yeah. So I'm making this U-turn and I'm looking at the fish finder. I think it was like midway through the tide. It's 6 feet.
Okay.
5 feet. 3 feet. And then I feel it.
Yeah. Oh, dude, it goes from 3 to all of a sudden you just saw it go 2, 1 and you're up. You're in.
Yeah.
And it was a landing.
And I felt it and I was like, oh, but I didn't really get stuck on it. So
right.
So I just kept going and I got
yeah. So I was luckily I had my eye on the screen. So I'm watching the 3 feet. So I saw 3, I saw 2.6, 2, 1.6, 1, and you feel at that point you're feeling it.
And then the motor's coming up.
And I was already trimming. The motor was already coming up because now I know I don't want to get the engine into the low tide. I don't want to suck anything into the impeller.
No.
And I also know that I already want to start reversing. So
to get out of that.
To keep the boat from becoming still in these.
Yeah.
So Corey had jumped onto the transom. We looked over. I had to stop and look over because I just wanted to see. And oh my God, I look over. The water is this high off this tabletop right here. This is it. And the bow, and now mine's 23 feet. But I got a engine platform and a pulpit that sticks out. So the 23 looks a little bit bigger than it is. Yours, I've had a 19-foot boat in the past on the South Shore. Yep. And, there's only 2 types of boaters on the South Shore, those that are going to run aground and those that have run aground. I always felt that in the 19-foot boat, if I ran aground, and I did run aground, my son was driving the boat, I let him, and he crabbed out of the channel. We just got blown out by the wind. We were staying in between the greens and the reds, and you can still run aground on the South Shore.
Yeah,
in the channel, especially in the Amity Cut and Babylon Cut. Those you could definitely. So I always felt in the 19-foot boat I could just jump in the water and push it. Still not easy, especially if there's people on the boat. But if you have people on the boat, they could always go stand on one side and help list the boat, which makes it a lot easier to usually pivot it and move it. But if you're on it by yourself, I feel like your boat, you could just jump in the water and get it back in.
Yeah.
It's an awesome boat. I love your boat. And you stand out. I see you miles away. I know it's you. I mean, how many times did you run into me out there? I mean, even on the Sea Tow boat, you're like, are you fishing? And I'm like, no, I'm on this stupid commercial towboat right now. But I'm happy when I'm out there, like we just talked about with the seals and just being out there. I love going and venturing into new spots and looking on the sonar and checking shit out and looking at the structure on the, even on the Navionics. I tell people all the time what a great pool this is.
It's awesome.
Even me and you were just showing. We were showing some of the most famous people's fishing spots in our area because we know, we see. You got to understand. I'm on the water. If there's no thunder, gale force winds, and lightning, I'm on the water 7 days a week.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm scheduled to be on so many days as a commercial tow captain. And the other days, I'm trying to fish in the morning.
You're trying to go out fishing.
I'm not trying to be on the boat 12 hours a day because that does, it gets a little pain in the butt.
Yeah.
When I go out fishing and then have to do a full shift.
Yeah.
That's a full day at the dock. But do I love it? Do I miss it right now? Oh, hell yeah.
Yeah, me too.
But things are changing. It's 5 months now that we gotta do things. Got to keep ourselves busy. So all the gear's here. We're going to work on the gear. We got fishing shows to attend. We have podcasts to do. So it's still fun. You know, you're getting to tell people stories. So we know you see we're the best fishermen in our area, and your dad is one of them. Your dad is a great fisherman. You know, that whole group.
Yeah.
You know, his clique is, you know, they're good fishermen in the group. You know, and Northport, the Northport Baymen.
Mhm.
You know, Bobby Benier that works at campsite. There were some.
Yeah.
You know, there were guys and kids in our area that are young adults like yourself that are really into this and take it serious. And then there's guys in our area that have Vikings and leave and go to Montauk and go to the Montauk Canyon
Yeah.
Challenge for, you know, tournaments that we're going to be in this year. And we're going to be out there. Andrew's going to come join us at the boat show. You're going to see him at the boat show. Hopefully he'll make it a day or two out to the city. That'll be fun. I'm looking forward to that. That's going to be a blast. Have you done any fly fishing?
No, never have.
Do you have any fly rods?
No, but I can buy one.
No, you don't have to. Don't, because this is like, it's an illness. I can open up a case out there and show you all the flies that I've tied that are just sitting there. And me and Corey amongst us, we probably have 10 to 12 fly rods, every weight, every reel, every line, we're good to go. You already have waders.
Yeah.
So we have the rod. Yeah, you need one of the wooden nets, because when you hook the fish, you actually have to have the net attached to you, tethered to you, because you're standing
in the water.
In the water, there's no cleats for your dad to hook into.
Yeah.
You know, and not get the fish. Now, I'm going to tell you this. This is crazy. Newsday did a story on me at the Connecticut River. I get the call from Newsday. They clear it with the park. They're sending a photographer to come shoot me and shoot pictures. I wish they would have shot me. I'd be out of my misery. They came to shoot pictures. I hooked into the biggest fish of my fly fishing career in the Connecticut River, which is, you know, it's a farm raised, you know, come on, guys.
Yeah.
You know, it's like fishing in a barrel, but, you know, when you do see a big fish, you see them, you're like, holy shit, that thing's the size of a striped bass.
Yeah.
I mean, it's big. It's this big. I'm not even like exaggerating any. I put GoPro cameras under the water, and you see some of the big fish just sitting there swimming in the current, and you're like, no way, especially at the waterfall. There's black eels coming up out of the grass. There's freshwater eels in there. It's the coolest place. You're going to see muskrats swim by you. You're going to see deer that are size that are, you know, the windows here in the studio.
Yeah.
They're huge. And you get to see these, you know, the blue heron and just
Yep.
everything, all the wildlife that's in there that me and you'd like to see when we're on the boat.
Yeah.
How many osprey and eagles are we going to see out there when we're out there? It's incredible.
Yeah.
So cool. But I hook into this big fish. And the reason I'm saying that you need that net is because I hooked into it. She got a picture of me with the rod bent in half. This thing is bent all the way from the butt end to the tip. It's coming down. I mean, I'm holding on to this thing for my life. And I happen to be in a grassy area. This thing gets into the grass, snap, gone. Now, fly leader is tapered. So it starts off thick over here where it attaches to the floating line, and then it gets thinner as it goes to the fly.
Yep.
So the line gets thinner as it goes towards that fly. And it's just, if you know fly fishing, the hook is tiny that's in this fish's mouth. I can't believe it even catches the fish. I really can't. Blows me away. This thing breaks off. Snap, bunt, gone. She decides she's got enough photos of me and Steven and she's going to leave. She got good pictures of Steven with a fish. She got pictures with me in the river. I don't know if I held up any fish for her. I don't remember. I'll have to look at the article. I walk over to Steven and I'm like, dude, she left. I'm going back over there to get back into that fish. That fish is there. I know what Lori went for. I have another one. And I made it myself. I get back over there. I hook into this monster again. And it was the coolest thing that I hooked into it. Now, the reason I'm saying you need this, you put the net around your neck and it's hanging on your side, but it's a stretched paracord type thing. So you can stretch it, reach out and grab. You got to hold your rod and net the fish at the same time. And this thing is this big. It's this thick. In the picture, you'll see it's so thick. This thing was the size of a stripe. It was a rainbow trout. It was huge. Biggest rainbow trout I've seen in that river. And Steven see me try to net it. So big it didn't fit in the net. I couldn't net it. He actually had to come over and help me net the fish.
Wow.
And, you know, at that point, if it got off, I saw it. You know what I mean? I was this close trying to net it. And if he would have broke off because I can't get him in the thing, I would have been okay with it. I just didn't want him to leave with a lure in his mouth. He didn't have the other lure in his mouth. It broke off and fell out. So it's not like, or he swallowed it. I don't know because I let him go. I don't keep anything. It's farm raised. I leave it there and I don't take anything home to eat or do. But the river's
the same
great.
way.
So we got rods for you. We got flies. We got everything you need. You book a reservation. You have a freshwater fishing license?
Yeah.
Okay. So that's all you need. You have to show them that. It's $25 to reserve your spot. I make the reservation. I call up and I tell them how many. I'll say, we need, 3, reservation for 3. And then we show up in my truck and we have to get a number. You could show up too. You could be in your car and I would get the number for us. And then we have to go get online.
Yeah.
And I give you the number. It will be a number. If we were the first truck there, we would get number 1, 2, and 3, me, you, Corey. And then we're the first people in line to pick what spot we want to fish on the river.
Oh.
So we have a whole selection of the map. And then they put a magnet on the spots that me, you, and Corey pick. So the people that come in number 4 behind us, he sees that he can't get spot 1, 2, and 3, which is not.
So how many spots is there?
Oh, there's like 34 spots.
34 spots?
Yeah, there's a lot of spots. And we know the good spots. We've fished the river so much, and I don't think there's bad spots. I really don't. I have a
spot better than others.
I have a really cool video now that I'm putting up every week, guys. I am going to be putting up shorts, a lot of short videos now. I've been working on editing. I'm editing stuff now for the boat show. That's how far ahead. I'm 2 months out. I mean, I'm really starting to get crazy with this editing. I have sick footage that I have to show you guys of them stocking the river, how they do it. They walk down the river with these big floating bins with the fish in them from the hatchery, and they're actually taking them out and putting them into the water. And it's just the coolest thing to see. You can go there your whole life and never see this.
I've seen them. I saw them stock the one in Centerport one time, and they backed the
at Twin Ponds,
yeah,
where they back the truck up.
Yeah, they back the truck up and just load them in.
It's crazy, right? Yeah. So you know who will know that? You know who gets that info and goes fishes over there? Phil over at Cow Harbor. He was the reason I started going to Connecticut. He was the one that told me how the system works and how to do it.
I've never had the best luck at Twin Ponds.
Yeah, I fished there as a kid. I used to ride my bike there, and it used to be two ponds. The one in the back by the back house.
It's bought by somebody
That was
now.
The best fishing spot. That was better than the one by the waterfall.
Yeah, somebody owns that one now.
No, it's closed. It's closed off. You can't even get back there for years.
Yeah.
Yeah, since my son is now he's 12. I want to say he was 4 years old. And we were walking in there with a stroller.
Yeah.
It's like the dock in there is like pallets. It's like skipped, you have to, sometimes you go through rocks, you get the pallets to go. I tried to get all the way back there. It was impossible.
Yeah. And there's, I don't know, I'd probably say 10 largemouth in there at best.
So when I was there, it was inundated with grass.
Yeah, it's a major problem with that. It's just
it was all overgrown.
Yeah.
I was like, how is anybody even coming in here to fish? Like, why would they?
Yeah, every cast you get something on your lure. Every single cast. You have to fish weedless in there.
Yeah, so that's no fun for me.
I've caught the same bass probably 10 times.
He's the same one. You named him, you throw him back. He knows you.
Yeah. It sits on this one spot. There's its bed where it spawns.
Oh, yeah. They have a little clearing in the mud. You can see it's like the sunnies do where they clear that little area.
And those things, there's a lot of those in there. There's a lot of sunnies in there.
All right. So speaking of the freshwater fish, what's the most unique species you caught in our area? Did you catch anything crazy? What'd you catch? Don't tell me a sea robin because I'll throw you out.
And you're saying just fish in general?
Yeah, just anything in our area. What'd you catch? Because I'll throw some names at you. You won't believe what me and Corey caught.
I caught a kingfish.
Okay, northern kingfish.
Yeah, I caught.
That was cool to see with the stripes on it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, we had one of those.
I've caught kingfish. I've caught blowfish, which are around.
Yeah, blowfish. I can't believe I didn't get those as a kid here, but now I see them. We catch them on the charters.
What else have I've caught a lot of.
And the oyster toadfish is unique. He's ugly looking. We caught a lizard fish.
Really?
Yeah, and I didn't know what it was. Corey, the minute it came on the boat, he put it in his hand. He's like, "Dude, this is a lizard fish." We caught it with a hook. We really caught. Yeah, and it was small, but it was crazy to see. And a remora.
Wow.
Yeah.
I've actually, somebody in my marina caught one of those.
Yep. Those are the fish that suck to the bottom of the shark and eat the parasites off.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. I actually thought that maybe we caught one of those.
And somebody just posted, somebody sent me, Jay Nats. We got our Northport alumni, and her daughter is actually a goaltender at Yale ice hockey. So I love, I grew up in a time where girls played on our varsity ice hockey team at Northport High School. So anytime my daughter is, her entire Christmas list, everything on it says Bauer this, the new sticks that everybody's got, the pulse stick, and what was it? The minis, what are the mini sticks that are wrapped up? You can't even see what they are. You don't know what it is. It's a surprise. The surprise mini sticks. She's got a list of everything hockey. So she sent me in private messenger a picture of somebody. I'll show you a picture of it off air, but I didn't bring my phone on the set. I'll put it up here on the screen for the people to see, and it looks like a porgy. Yeah, that's still on. It's just the screen. The one external screen stopped. It's the craziest looking fish. It's like a giant porgy. But he got it in Long Island here, and
there was also I think it was around 5 years ago. It was some kind of a puffer fish, but it wasn't like a blowfish like what we see. It was
okay.
It was like this big.
Okay.
And it was like dark blue and yellow.
Okay.
I forgot what it's called. But they're very toxic. Like you can't eat them. And it was caught in the triangle.
Was it tropical looking?
Yes.
Yeah. So I saw a bunch of those actually on the South Shore. Me and Jed happened. Oh yeah. Me and Jed happened to be on. We were catching sharks, and it was one shark after the next, and they were all 4 feet long. So when the rods are peeling and bending and running, we had to move. But so we caught a few of them, and we reeled one of them up. I mean, it had to be almost like 5 feet long, and it was a little sand shark.
Yeah,
but 5 feet long is a big one.
Yeah, that's a serious
and he
shark.
had a school of those things behind him.
Really?
All those black and yellow looking tropical fish, and it was just like the coolest thing to see.
So somebody that my dad knows, he was fishing, he was chunking, he was at local spot, and he was catching real sharks that had teeth.
Oh, he got into some browns.
Yeah.
So browns come into the Northport Bay.
Yeah.
We get stingrays, we get cow-nose stingrays, we get brown sharks. Somebody netted in Lloyd Harbor in a gill net. I think it was a gill net, but I heard, and somebody corroborated that they saw the picture. They got a sand tiger shark.
Wow.
Which were the ones that I catch on the South Shore from the beaches.
And those cow-nose rays this year, there was a lot of those around.
Yes.
People were catching those left and right.
So and they were in our harbor.
Yeah.
They actually came into my marina.
You
and
could see the
mud.
Yeah.
When the tide went out, you could see what they did to the mud, how they sit there in the mud. It's so cool.
And I think 5 years ago, I hooked up onto one of those.
Oh, we got one at night. Oh my God. Dan, that's the fish that we hooked in. It was the weekend around the Wick tournament, and we were out there chunking different spots to test out some areas for the nighttime. And we were actually right off the lighthouse, as if, where you went out early, where you snuck out early?
Yeah, by like that jetty over there?
Yeah. So where you snuck out of the Huntington Channel early, okay? We right outside the no-wake zone, coming out to the lighthouse. We were just east of the lighthouse in that area there, and we were hooking up. And this thing bent an ugly stick rod in half. And Dan picked it up to set the hook, and snap. And I was like, dude, whatever that was huge. It was not a bluefish. It was not a striped bass. Whatever that was big. Let's put more down.
Yeah.
We put it down again. I say, don't touch it. When that rod goes off, don't touch it. I want to be the one. I lift it. I set the hook. This thing is going. Snap, gone.
Yeah.
And I was just like, dude, it's either an 8-foot shark that's, there's a big shark in the area, a 6-footer, a brown, or breaking the line off with its teeth, or it's the power of a big stingray.
Did you land any fish when you were fishing over there?
No, not that night.
Not that night?
No, it was just runoffs.
Yeah.
Yep. We actually didn't have a great night. Some nights you get out there, it's great fishing, and some nights you get out there, you're not in the right spot.
Some nights
and you got to move.
Yeah,
I'm all about moving.
Yeah,
15, 20 minutes. If we didn't get a hit and see a rod and do something,
done.
I'm making a move. Yeah, I'm out of here.
And some nights you can be on the right spot, and it's just you don't get them. You don't get them every day.
So we went out, me and my son. It's the weekend of the Wick tournament. It's Friday night, 12 o'clock. That tournament starts on Friday night. So me and my son, we get out. We're fishing off the Eaton's Neck Point right in Huntington Bay.
At night?
Yeah, at nighttime. Right there at the Eaton's Neck Point in the bay. So the Northport Channel to the entrance to Northport Bay.
Yeah.
Okay. So where there's a no wake zone to go on the Eaton's Neck there for the beach. Yeah. Where they don't want to.
Sand City.
Where it says no wake, but they haven't fixed a no wake sign in years. So it says awake.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right there. We're right there. Nothing but striped bass. You know how mad I was that we're catching giant striped bass on chunks? It's a bluefish tournament.
Yeah.
I didn't want to catch bass. Then I go out in a bass tournament. I catch bluefish.
Yeah.
It's your fault. I blame you and Justin. But you guys were out there a lot this year. We have recorded, and this was an awesome Thanksgiving episode, guys. We definitely hit our longest episode because we're here. We have a conversation to have and get you guys in on some fun and give you some intel. He gave away all the cans. You heard him say 15. You heard him say the triangle. He gave away 32A. I heard him earlier. He's showing me marks on the screen. And what other cans can we give you? Oh, yeah, the Cold Spring Light, and then you got Cold Spring Harbor. You blew up. You were like such a spot burner. You gave away all your dad's favorite spots.
Yeah.
And I'm just kidding because that's like all the spots in our area. It's like we have such a great fishery.
Yeah.
That's why I said to Corey, and you did it too this year. You're guilty of traveling out of our area to go get some pelagics and get out. Just do different stuff. Isn't that so cool?
Yeah.
That you could leave our area to go target something and actually catch it. Me and Tony left that morning, and I said, Tony, we are going to get Spanish mackerel. First pass, boom, what do I catch? Spanish mackerel. He's like, no fucking way.
And it's crazy too because it's not that far. Like you
it's
like
not.
and I mean you get albies here. Like I've caught one.
Shit, they came into Huntington Harbor 2 years ago. They ran right through the harbor.
I caught one albie around here one time. It was a random. I was fishing with a diamond jig. I was blue fishing. I just made a cast and just so happened to hook into an albie. But this year I was running to the
Bonitos. You would get the Bonitos.
Every trip.
Yeah, you were in the Bonitos.
Yeah.
And, not a lot of albies.
No albies.
Not a lot of albies. So Jacob just let me know that out east in Peconic that he just had an albie blitz in his oyster farm.
And even Dave Flanagan, he told me, he's like, yeah, we had to go South Shore for albies. He's like, we didn't get any albies on the North Shore this year.
Yeah, and he's usually the king of the albies.
Yes.
So he's usually a telltale sign that they're there because, he'll post a picture and show you that they're there, but they're east to him.
Yeah, he's the albie whisperer.
Yeah, he's the whisperer. He knows, and I love that about him. I love Dave Berrien. I saw Dave on the dock when I ran Freedom Boat Club for 4 or 5 years every morning.
Yep.
So they were the boat that he worked on for Volpe Marine. Nick would literally say to me, he's like, Gage, are you ever going to take a fucking day off?
Yeah.
And I was like, no, why would I take a day off? I run a boat club.
Yeah.
I created a fishing club within the boat club. It was fucking awesome. And we made competitions and it was so cool. So that's why when it comes to the Bay Rats and Buoys Fishing Club, I am so excited because it's not like I haven't run a club before. I know what to do. I know how we're going to challenge other clubs.
Yeah.
But I got something even bigger. Bigger than the fishing club, bigger than videos and stuff like that we're going to tell you in 2026. We have some really big shit happening. And I am so excited. And, everything has to ramp up. And you have to ramp it up a little bit. And you tell people a little bit about it. You give them tidbits of information. But we can't tell everybody about certain things because it takes time to work things out. Like it's somebody like telling you they're opening a business and going to build a website. Well, it's going to take them time to build a website.
Yeah.
So how are they going to tell you I'm working on this badass website because they're working on it and they know what it looks like on the back end, but you have no preview to it, so you don't know. So why tell them about it until it's the day you open?
It's done.
Chef Rob, congratulations. He's doing a soft opening today for his pizza business. Well, it's more than a pizza business, but it's like world pizza or world something. It's awesome. You'll get live details of it next week, but today is the opening, soft opening in South Carolina. He's going to be on next week's episode telling you guys about the red fishing and the fishing in South Carolina, what's going on. We're going to have other captains from that area on the podcast with Rob because, like I said, we're going to be doing calls and expanding and being able to do what I'm doing with you here tonight with other people all over the United States. So we're not limited. Josh at Black Tip Age.
Yeah.
And, a whole bunch of them. In fact, there's some really great connections. I can't even drop the name. I really can't. And I can't wait until it happens because it's bigger than anything I've ever expected, especially for the Long Island area. This is as big as it gets. And it's not a John Skinner. It's not somebody from Long Island. It's somebody that everybody on Long Island has watched, has loved, knows. And if I can make it happen and it comes on the show, that's when I'll drop the name and be like, yo.
Yep.
And I'll tell you off air. I will tell you off air because I trust you. And the champ is here, guys. You waited until from June 22nd until now.
Yeah.
You've seen pictures, you've heard them, but now you know. You've seen the videos. His boat is faster than the commercial tow boat. I've raced him out there. His boat boogies. I mean, that thing's going to get up to 55 miles an hour when you do what you do to the transom.
Yeah.
And I know you've gone pretty close to that speed, but I know that when it's fixed, it's going to go.
with the bracket.
And it's not fixed. It's actually getting, what do we want to call that? We want to call it modified.
Yeah.
Modified and upgraded.
Upgraded.
Yeah, it's a serious upgrade. So are you going to do these modifications during the winter?
Yeah, I'm going to do them from, I've already started as, I don't know.
Is it in the garage?
Not yet.
All
I'm going
right.
to try to get it close.
It's not easy, right? I almost rented a space here in this building
Yeah.
because I thought the garage was big enough. But let me tell you something. Oh, my God. So I had another fuck up this year, and I'll tell it really, really quick. Remember the story I told you guys that I broke down at Mount Sinai when I spun the hub, and on the way back, I got a call from Matt from J&M Seafood saying that he saw me out there.
Yeah.
So I'm driving back and leaving Port Jefferson. You're on 25A there. You know, you're coming out, and there's another boat. I was waiting for this boat hauler who had just hauled a boat to leave because he's leaving with a bigger boat than mine.
Yeah.
And now I'm following him out of there. You know, in our area, I think this is so impressive because you got Milty in our area, Milton.
Yeah.
And he tows, you know, he hauls everybody's boat. He's amazing at driving that hauler.
Yeah.
But he knows where the low wires are. He knows where the branches. He moves the car, the boat into the other lane to go around certain areas.
Yep.
So I'm assuming this guy's going to do the same thing, and we're going to go through some, you know, low trees and whatever. Dude, I get home, and I'm at Compass Rose, and Mike is making fun of me, and he's like, dude, what's with your fucking transducer? He's like, that. I'm like, bro, don't even ask. There's a lot of growth on the bottom of my boat. And I didn't pull it out in August to do it. And the transducer, instead of being at a 90 degree off the back, it was hanging like this.
Oh, wow.
And my heart is in my mouth thinking my $1,200 transducer broke. Like, I didn't realize that there were two screws there that had
the
loosened.
two little nuts, yeah.
And they loosened, and I thought the whole thing broke, and now I got to go buy a new, oh, my God, and to rewire it, I'm like, nightmare. So I actually just put those screws on. However, I look up at the top of the boat. The all-white round light is not in the Simrad bracket that was going up above, which is only a few inches above the halo.
Yeah.
Okay, so how close was the halo to hitting a tree branch?
Yeah.
What took my all-round white light out?
Yeah.
Whatever it was close enough to cracking my halo. This could have been. That's why I don't like trailing my boat in Long Island through these trees and shit.
Yeah.
And how many times? Here's a great one. Everybody, all right, you can't say everybody, but some of you guys out there, you got to admit to this. I'm admitting to it. All right? And the harbor master has told me his guys have done it 1,000,000 times. When you take the boat out at the ramp and you don't lower your antenna.
Oh, yeah.
And you hit phone lines on the whole way home, and you get home and you see your antenna is bent in half.
Yeah.
So me and Jed are driving the boat home, and we're going through Greenlawn, and I'm like, we have the rods in the back of the boat, in the back of my truck, in the bed of the truck. And we're hearing this wacky noise in the back, and we're hearing it. I'm rolling down the window, and I'm looking. I'm like, what the hell is it? He's like, Jed, you hear that? He's like, yeah, I hear that noise. He goes, oh, well, I'm like, what is it? He goes, I don't know. He goes, he's looking out his mirror. He doesn't see anything. I'm like, maybe we should stop. And I look down in the mirror to look up at the top of the boat, and I see my antenna dangling.
Yeah.
And I knew I hit power lines on the way home. So if anybody lost any internet connections or television service last year, leaving the ramp or 2 years ago, but everybody makes that mistake. You leave the antenna up. It's a $300 fix if you get the better antenna. So an antenna is better when it has more copper in it. So the more copper in the antenna, the expensive ones at $300 have more copper than the $100 one. And I'll be putting a second radio in the boat this year. Spot lock and a second radio gets installed. And you're going to hook me up with the fuel line device. We're definitely doing that.
Yeah.
100%.
Awesome.
So he's very mechanical, and that's what I love about. I'm not afraid. Like, you know, I did the lower unit oil. I'll do things. I'll change things. I'm mechanically inclined to some degree. I did put the motor on my Corvette when I was a kid. Love that stuff. But I also like when somebody else comes and does it right, you know, and if you don't know what you're doing. Watching YouTube videos is fun. Like, I got to pull the VAT thing off. That's no big deal. You know, I already have the filter. I already have the gasket for it.
Yeah.
You know, so I was told, even Flanagan told me, he's like, I change mine 2 times a year.
The VST?
Yeah. And I'm just like, everybody was telling me that eventually it's going to get choked out. You're going to,
It spogs.
it's still going to run. It'll spog in, but it'll still go. Mike from Cito was telling me, he's like, it'll go. He goes, you know, he had those engines. He ran up to 8,000 hours on these OX66s back when they used them commercially. And he was the first one to tell me, yeah, you're going to want to change that.
Yeah.
I have the boat going on 5 years now.
Never changed it?
I haven't had an issue. So why would you change something if it's not, but yeah, I want to pull that off and just, little things like that.
Yeah.
So we talked about the whaler sinking. We talked about the boat show. We talked about the fish in the area. We had you got on some you just went fishing today. So, I mean, that's just, it's great you got the golf clubs back because that story could have went in a whole different direction. But I am
100%.
not surprised that you went to Bridgeport to get it because out of all the places on the Connecticut side, that's probably one of the shadiest.
Yeah. Absolutely.
that is a shady spot. I've been there. I drove there actually to go to the Bass Pro Shop.
Place is awesome.
And I took my wife and kids to the Boca Oyster Bar
to
eat. And we can go there by boat,
Yeah.
But the problem is going by boat. You're going to go in there and blow, $500 to $1,000.
Oh, absolutely.
Just walking in there. I mean, I can't get out of that place without an $800 bill attached to my hip.
Yeah.
And that would be getting out easy. And I thought I was going to get like more flies and stuff there. They really didn't have, they had everything that you get locally that you could make or buy.
Yeah.
So it was like, great store though. So I'm excited. And this is the first episode that we've actually ran this long, and it's exciting. One episode. What the hell? Which episode was it? It was the anniversary episode that I went on forever. But at least tonight I had, the champ is here. So he won the tournament. He deserves a little airtime. And we'll get you back on. We're gonna get you and Justin on because we could have multiple microphones. We could do 2, 3 people. We were gonna Zoom them. We were gonna get them in on a Zoom call. So Justin, if you were around, we reached out. If you would have hit us up, we would have got you in because I know you guys. I love seeing you guys out there. And we talked about that younger generation will have the Boston Whalers, but it's the best starter boat to get out there.
Yeah.
I know you already want something bigger. I mean, you can't tell me you don't. If you had,
of course,
if you had $20,000, $30,000 in your left pocket right now, you're already shopping for another boat.
I already have another boat.
You're right.
Last for a week.
Right, exactly. But that's it. But it's great learning what you're learning on the smaller boat and dialing in and getting good. And then when you get to change the electronics and do what me and Corey did this year, I mean that was a game changer.
Yeah.
Side scan is just another world.
Yeah. And you're gonna have fuck ups. Like, so it's good to have a boat that's, not so nice.
Well, that's why I recommended to people go join the Freedom Boat Club.
Yeah.
If you're going to go fuck up a boat, learn how to do it on their boat,
exactly.
And then buy a boat.
Yep.
I think back when I worked there, you only had a $2,500 deductible.
Yeah.
So you can go crash into Tiger Woods' boat and you're only responsible for $2,500 in damages. But that's years ago when I worked there. Now it could have changed and, who knows what the liability is now. And they've grown. Good for them. They're in our area. You ever see the fenders? You see the boats driving with the fenders?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's Freedom. That's Freedom Boat Club. Yeah, 100%. So there's drinking games in Northport for them. So this was an epic episode. I had a blast having you in here. I can't thank you enough for coming to the studio. In the springtime, we'll do it on the boat.
Yeah.
We're going to do it on the boat. I told Tony Majal, listen, we're doing it on the boat. You're coming on the... But, he was going away. He's got the new stuff with the business and new rods they were designing, all kinds of stuff. And I understand everybody has busy schedules, so it's tough to coordinate with people. But during the wintertime, if we can't get them on at the boat show or on in person, we're going to be getting them on next to me in a Zoom call, or it will be streaming live. So we'll be doing the live streaming. We won't have to be on a Zoom call physically. I use a streaming service, so we'll use that, and we'll get you guys on the call. And like I said, use an example of guys like,
Josh
from Black Tip H.
Yeah.
I've been a fan of Black Tip H, when he first got started. Before he had merchandise. Yep. Before he blew up and did real good. So it's exciting to have that potential, and I mean this thing is in 5 countries. Listen, I got 58,000 views a month for just the video version.
Yeah.
And that's not even including YouTube, which I haven't been promoting. Since the anniversary, I didn't do any paid promotions on YouTube because when I do it, and I'm telling people this, when I do the paid promotions, I actually pay YouTube. I'm not hiring some guy in Pakistan to give me, 5,000 views or 8,000 views on a video.
Yeah.
I want views to build
from
subscribers.
People. Yeah.
So the algorithm and all that fun stuff, you do it through YouTube. You can actually pick in the promotion, in the paid promotion, you can pick what you're looking for. Do you want more views? Do you want more subscribers? What are you looking for? Because they're going to put your niche in front of people, and this is a great niche, boating and fishing.
Yep.
So we talk about boating, we talk about fishing, and every once in a while, life happens in there. We'll mention, an Islander game. Holy shit. We almost forgot. John posted a picture. You know there's an Islander-Ranger rivalry. There always is going to be. That's never going to die. Islander fans and Ranger fans always have that rivalry. I happen to have a rivalry with somebody because of my Yeti cooler. I'm going to let some of the ice drip off so I'm not leaving here soaking wet, because I did just pull an ice cold Diet Coke that is dripping from the ice out of the cooler. And John, you sent me a picture of a Pepsi can, which I'm going to put up here on the screen, saying that that was a lure that you made in your spare time and that you think that you're going to challenge me to a competition. And I said, absolutely. What did I send back to you? I sent you back a picture of my can, the way I'm going to have it rigged up, and you said you're going to have to go upgrade your can and do it a little bit better. And kudos to you. I think you should. But it was great for you to come up with that and say that we should do that, because not only do I love the fact that me and you are going to have a competition, and either I have to drink Diet Pepsis or you're going to have to drink Diet Coke and potentially wear a Diet Coke shirt that I will happily get for you. And I'll wear a Pepsi shirt if I lose. But I'm not losing. I don't like to lose. And I'm not going to cheat, but I am going to do everything in my power to catch the better fish. You can't really cheat in fishing unless you're doing weight and you stuff the weights down his throat.
Yeah.
Those guys got caught anyway, which I'm happy they got caught.
Me too.
But the measuring device for the tournament, there was no way anybody could cheat.
It had to be on that specific ruler.
Specific ruler, and you had to measure to the split. So everybody squeezes the tail. You know how many people could have had different measurements because they try to hold the tail together to get the actual overall length?
Yeah, that fish that I got overall was like 48 and a half.
Right, so 46 was only to the split. It was actually bigger, but 40, everybody to the split.
Yep.
So that makes it like you can't finagle the
Yeah.
number, and that was it was real close. The first and second place was actually real close, and you guys were on the leaderboard for a while during the day. And people asked me specifically where you guys were. They called me and said they sent me messages saying, give me Eric's Latin Launch, because he was on the leaderboard.
Yeah.
So they wanted to know where you were. And I told them exactly where you weren't. No, I wouldn't, there's no way. I mean, I can make up some information. I could say, I do it all the time with some of my friends. They'll ask me where I was, and I give them coordinates. I'll actually look up the coordinates to the Flemish Caps. I'll go to Perfect Storm and get you locations where you can go and fish, north and east of us. And so we have some fun. This was a great episode. Episode 59. I can't believe we did a long episode today, so it was a lot of fun. I loved having Andrew here in the studio. We probably talked for an hour and a half before we even got on the mic.
Yeah.
Easy, it was because we had so much to catch up on. He's got so much going on in the harbor. A lot of good things. He went squid fishing. He hates it. I won't do it. I love the cold for the fly fishing and whatnot, but I just don't feel like I want to get squirted with the ink. It just doesn't sound like a fun thing.
No.
You actually saw it happening and said, yo, I'm out of here.
Yeah. And the fight, it's not worth it.
Really?
Yeah.
So it's, okay.
At least for me.
Yeah, me too. I want a fish that's going to fight me and not just, I probably have more fun throwing the cast net over them, and pull up a bunch of them.
Yeah.
But happy Thanksgiving, everybody. So it is officially Thanksgiving in just a few hours. This podcast will be up for Thanksgiving 2025, and we're just a month away from Christmas, 2 months away from the boat show. And before you know it, we're all going to be at Ward Melville spending money buying shit we don't need.
Yep.
I'm just going to go through all the stuff out there that I have indoors with Corey. We're going to go through it all. We'll organize it. And as it gets organized, we're going to put it back away so it's ready to just go on the boat and out there. And I am literally gearing up just for striped bass in April.
Yeah.
We're going to hit tuna fish this year.
Yep.
I didn't do it this year only because of my schedule, but I'm already freeing up my schedule next year. So a lot of good things are happening. We got the fishing club going on. We're going to tell you more about that at the boat show. Actually, I'm going to try to make it that in 2 months you can sign up for it at the boat show. And we'll see. If I can make it happen by the boat show, I will. If I don't, we will do something towards the end of March and make it that the opening of the season, April 15th. But I'd like to have a meeting or something happen just before the season starts so we can get some of the people in our area that want to be in the club dialed in and get out there to enjoy the fish that we catch in our area, because April 15th every year I'm catching 20 and 30-pound bass right in my area. Every year I say I'm going to Hempstead Harbor. Every year me and Corey say we're going to leave. We're going to go to Hempstead Harbor because we've always done good west heading, because they're coming out of Raritan Bay. They're coming our way. And we head west and we do well. And we get some fun fish over there. And every year as we're leaving now, we see birds working and we get on these fish. And the screen lights up and we're like, okay, why are we going?
Yeah.
It's just some pay to go get your chance of getting your ass kicked. You never know when when something's going to turn, and you got to fish the right tides. So this year we're going to fish west. We're also going to fish our area. We're going to fish east. We're going to do the South Shore. We're going to get on tuna. We're going to follow Tom Trueheart.
Yep.
We're getting on that tuna train. I pulled into the shop there to give him his trophy, and I called him Tuna Tom in front of everybody. And he said, I kind of like that. I kind of like that name. So his new nickname, we're going to call him Tuna Tom.
Tuna Tom.
Because he's the only center console that's getting out there on the tuna like he is.
Yeah.
I mean, I really appreciate it. He's telling me he's going with gas cans. Corey's getting on big boats. 38 Outrages are going out there with fuel bladders.
Yeah.
Dude, that's a bomb. You got a gas bomb on the boat.
Yeah.
I don't want to be on that boat. Hell no. But I guess, it's not diesel, it's gas. Diesel, at least you can throw a match on it and it ain't going to blow.
Gas, you throw a match on it.
Yeah, somebody drops a cigarette and we're done. Yeah, I don't want that.
What people will do for fishing.
Yeah, it's unbelievable. It really is unbelievable. But listen, you too, because I've seen you take that little boat into areas that people shouldn't take little boats. And I really appreciate that. And your dad always said to me, hey, keep an eye on him out there, you know, and we're not spying on you, but listen, how many times do I see you out there? I've kept an eye on you. You've done well. Kudos to you. You won the tournament, and hopefully, hey, listen, I'd love to see you repeat and do it next year and catch the 50-inch fish and show them that you know where the big fish are, because guys are gonna have target on your back. So I wish you luck now in front of everybody and tell them, hey, I wish you luck. You raised the bar, you set a standard, and I told everybody, even in Eric's trophy, that first place trophy this year did not have the year on it, because I thought it was already built into the trophy and it didn't have to be inscribed on it. And the other trophies had a year built into them. So I thought it did too. So Eric said, well, that makes the trophy worth more money now.
Yeah.
And that was cool. So we can't wait to come out with some more merchandise. The hats, the sweatshirts, all that stuff is coming, guys. We're working on it all this winter, and we'll bring it to some of the shows if we get it in time. And if we don't, we will have it in time for the launch of the new season. 2026 is now officially 5 months away. This is it. This is the close of the season. Yeah. November it ends. Thanksgiving. Yep. And the harbors are empty now. Boats are all coming out. We're getting the last minute calls for towing that has to happen. And, it happens this time of the year. There's a few boats that are still out there on moorings and they don't run. So how are they getting back to the dock? How are they getting hauled out? Yeah. So that's it, guys. Episode 59 in the books. I don't have an accurate time on it because we did have the camera shut off due to a little storage issue there on the camera disc, but all is good. It was a great episode with Andrew. I can't thank you again for coming in.
Thanks for having me.
You're welcome. We'll get you back. We'll get Dad on. We'll get some of the guys from the club over there on. Eric, too. I got to get Eric and your dad on both. Maybe we'll have all three sit down and we'll do a little roundtable session. That'll be a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Totally. So we'll try to organize that this winter and keep you guys listening. I appreciate you guys listening in. Manny and all the boys from the West, we appreciate you. Brooklyn, you're still number one on Spotify. Keep it going. Queens, we got we got Kalo. I won't say J-Lo, I'll say Kalo, because I did. Every week I mess it up. I don't have any notes here. Look, those notes aren't from my show. Yeah. Those notes are for another podcast. And I don't have any notes. This is totally raw and totally unscripted. I got a witness here. He'll tell you. It's just a goddamn camera and a couple of microphones sitting in the studio. That is it. Happy to do it. We'll keep it coming. Thanks for listening. Share it with your friends. Share it on social media. We're going to start putting out a lot of short clips. So keep tuning in. And if you see anything you like, share it with your buddies. We're going to put a lot of videos up. We're not doing it to go viral. We're just doing it to build the fishing community in our local area, all the boaters and fishermen. We love you guys. Keep it safe out there. Wishing everybody bent rods, tight lines. Hopefully, I'll see you on the Connecticut River. If I don't, thanks for coming in, Andrew. You're the man.
Thanks for having me.
And we'll see you next time, guys. Captain Gage signing off with Andrew. Over and out.
Thanks for listening to this episode of Bay Rats and Buoys. Be sure to visit sandcitycharter.com and follow Captain Gage on all our social media channels.